So again, the odds are very high that we're going to the upside, and I'm going to break down why. And what I love about it is if you took last weekend's course, we were down here, and I kept saying the moving averages are tight. Like we're about to, we're likely going to get a big move. And I just see when we're tight here, the last time we were tight right here, last time we were tight right here, and last time we were tight right there. Every single time the moving averages got close together, when you're in these beautiful bullish uptrends, you're going to get in. Now, once if you ever broke this low, right now, because now we have a trend. Look, low, high, higher, low. Today, we're going to do two things. We're going to boot camp the 200 MA for you and really just show you slowly how the succession of the moves happen, why my system is so accurate based on if I were to disappear tomorrow and you could look back on what I did, if you really put in the same amount of work I did, everything that I'm teaching you will be revealed to you. I'm simply someone that observed things that were true. You know what I mean? Yeah, my mind connected them, but and again, that would maybe my gift is the recognition of the pattern that's to be revealed. But I truly believe if you were as detailed, you took the time, you would learn the same things that I'm teaching you too. And it's funny, I've never seen it taught, and I don't know if some people probably do it without even thinking about it in a way. And I'm sure there's other people that know it. I can't be the only one. I just, and I haven't even talked to enough traders in my life to know. So we're going to do like a 200 SMA boot camp where I just kind of show you, and whatever, just keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to try to do that. We will do that. Throw the word try out. Second I hear the word try, it's a red flag that someone may not be getting done what you need them to get done. So I always like, even I almost slip into it. Don't say that word, So tight moving averages, right? And again, this is just something that I've been, always subscribing to. It helped me when I knew we were in a bullish or a bear market, right? Here, I'm on the weekly for Bitcoin. And you can see once the moving averages get tight, that's the accumulation zone, okay? And look, you have a shoulder, a head, a right. It's amazing how it all comes into play. I was drawing this. If I could go find like the links to my YouTube channel, even when we were here, like I was drawing this and then I was, bringing the back and I was like, oh, it looks like, if this is the length of the pole, we're likely going to break out to like 26. I just remember saying 26, 27, even 30K. And I was like, it looks like Bitcoin could break out to 30K. And we even kind of had it like this at one point. And to me, it looked like it did a bullish retest. Like it did the breakout, it bullishly retested, and then it was gone. And so I've been watching Bitcoin just like inverted head and shoulder, breakout, bullish retest. And look, that's the emerging cup and handle that I teach you. All right. What's an emerging cup and handle? It's like, it's so explosive that the cup can't be flat, but you're still getting the cup. Okay. Sometimes we used to refer to it as a half a cup of handle. It was like a little and I found they were pretty explosive moves, almost like, look, there's almost like an inverted head and shoulder in there. It almost was like a tighter channel like this. See? But you'll see over time, inverted head. It was, and again, tight moving averages. So because I was just simple, I was the guy that called 30K. You get it? But I wasn't that smart. Like I wasn't a genius. And I didn't draw 1,000 fibs, and I didn't have 100 harmonic patterns, and I didn't do like sideways Fibonacci and back axes and triple axles. And I just was like moving averages tight. Gaps in the VRVP. Space. Space tells you can make space fast. Understand this. This is a really key indication. Space. See what I mean by space is, look, this jettisons out. This jettisons out. You see a gap here. Price action is not going to stop in this gap. It's going to move very fast through the gap. When I first saw this and someone taught it to me, I said it couldn't be that easy. I've been using all these other indicators. You're telling me I can just buy here and sell there? And honestly, it's about our emotions and positioning ourselves. See, when you over leverage, they can wick you out. When you trade a lot humbly, you can have a deeper stop loss away from danger. But you know what I mean? It's not, people don't. You can chase the risky gains, but you will chase the risky losses. Like they will haunt you. You know what I mean? And one day they can get you and erase like days of good work when you get too risky. So like that's why when you see me trade leverage, I chip away. I take advantage of the really good days, and I aim to make $500 to sometimes $2,000 in that day. Sometimes it's $350, sometimes it's $800, sometimes it is $2,000. You know what I mean? It depends on the day and how many trades I make. But at the end of the day, it's usually about, I can, pull at least $500 out between, let's say, 2 and 7 trades, depending on how many things I scalp, how many times I scalp. And I'm going to be using like the 1 minute, the 7, the 15. And then if the night looks good, I may make a long for the night and wake up to gains and then, on a 1 hour time frame. But that's like, you know, and I still continuously buy Bitcoin for like, I'm always thinking about 10 years from now, how much that $1,000 that I put away 10 years from now could be, 20x, 30x, right? And that means it's doubling itself almost every year. So that's what I'm looking for. Preservation of what I've made, right? Preservation of wealth. And then I have altcoins, and I am highly speculative and doing many other risky things. I tell, my students and people too, like, I didn't get risky till I built a nest egg, but I did build a nest egg. At one point, Bitcoin was riskier than everything else, right? So at one point, Bitcoin was it was $300 when I found out about Bitcoin. It was like the price of like kind of like Quant is right now. Like, it reminds me of Quant, where Quant's like 160, but you know what I mean? When I found out about Bitcoin, it's $300, $350. I was like, what is this thing? I was like, that's a lot for one stock, I said to myself. I didn't start buying it until it was $1,000. Like, to this day, I'm like, damn, just a few more at that time. But again, blessings on blessings that I did know about it then. And blessings on blessings so far, nothing has happened. I didn't, I meet people that got it way cheaper than me, but like lost seed phrases, lost hard drives, didn't pay attention, used it for like again, buying pizza, buying things online, and then didn't realize really the true potential of what they had, right? So if you're new here or watching the screen share, I'm guessing you've seen the live stream, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I never know. So I like to just go over things too. The weekly is 65.5. You'll hear me preach this over and over again. Until we break that, I don't see us headed down to 63 and then down to 60K. But there's a chance we still could go to 52,000. I'm open-minded to it. But, I got to keep reiterating the fact that we're holding a really nice level. So I just delete everything and I like to just start fresh. I get rid of the moving averages. And this is just how I do, how I look at price action. And so I make my first weekly, and I'm always looking at the weekly first and then moving down in it's called top-down analysis. All right. And in that way, I can get a bigger sense of what's happening. And you might see something really bearish on a bigger time frame that could get you to stop scalping on a because you're like, oh no, I might min the scalp, but it looks like I'm going to be fighting a downward trend here. So that's just also one thing to think about. All right. All right. So we have 65,005. All right. And then we have this key level here at 69,000. And then 67.2, which that's like, that we played games with, almost looked like we were going to lose it, but we did get back above. The weekly candle looks like it's going to close above 69,000. That's all I care about. One step at a time, right? Like when we were here, I was like, I just wanted the candle to close above 67.2. When we were here, I just said, I just wanted the candle to close above 65.5. When we were down, got it below it, I was like, oh man, like it doesn't look good, but the week's not over yet. It was like Wednesday, we were down here. I was like, but we have till Sunday to get back above. And look, we got back above both, which is pretty awesome. So far, and big, when you see wick and wicks like that, it usually tells a story. Whenever I've seen wicks, and you could just look, there's a pretty big wick, and it's not half even the size of those ones. It is just half the size. But these wicks, we moved up. We wicked down, and just wick theory, it shows that algorithm bounce, whatever you want to call it, people buying in, there's a move there. There's momentum, whether it's digital, fractal magic, whatever you want to call it, there's movement, right? To me, I see like people like me, I like to buy the red. I can't be the only one doing that. So people bought into these prices. I remember buying, 60,800, 60,003. I bought 65,300 here. I figured 65.3 was a steal. Anytime it went below 65.5, to me, I was like, it'll either start jettisoning down. So that was where I was going to begin DCAing, right? So once we lost the key level, I was excited because I didn't want to overpay for Bitcoin, right? So once we lost the key level, I was like, all right, I'd be buying in the dip, all the way back to 42 if I had to, okay? But it's all Bitcoin. A lot of times doesn't give the masses what they want, right? I discussed that a lot lately. Like the people who wait to buy Bitcoin usually keep waiting, you know what I mean? And they wait for the rest of their lives. So Bitcoin's something you really just at one point have to buy some. In my humble opinion, not a financial advisor, but in my experience, you just got to buy some. And once you hold it, and then you see all the trauma and you're reading all the stuff in the paper, and it's like you've almost crossed the line onto another side, and you can see things differently, This says we could go to 105,000, But it almost says, could it get there by the end of May? I mean, that's crazy. But on the trajectory we were on, so it's like I'm just drawing what the TA says, right? That's your line. That's your consolidation. And I'm not usually spot on with the day or time. I've done it like a few times where I've been like a few days off on really big moves for Bitcoin. That cup and handle I drew in October of like 2022 or 21 or something. I was 7 days off from 69,000 exactly, which is, call it luck, coincidence, whatever. But it was just, I just used the TA that I use. It tends to work really well, just drawing patterns and playing the measured moves. No fib extensions here, you know what I mean? No elite wave theory. And I see what they're doing. I see what they find, and I'm able to get to the exact same. As I showed you, I traded Solana absolutely perfectly in the last run, all the way from like $20 all the way up to its high. And I kept just drawing flags. I hit the measured moves. Like, I know I'm going to do it again for Solana. Like, I'm going to be able to nail every move it makes, and all the other coins too. It's just, they all follow suit. They do the same stuff over and over again. I've seen it thousand times over and over again, from AGIX to Seller. They're going to make a cup and handle at one point. They're going to break on out. Then they're going to keep pumping crazily. Then they're going to make a divergence on the 3-day chart. They're going to get away from the 21. You're going to be able to pull a fib. They're going to come back down to the 618, just like Caspa did, just like everything we've watched, just like Orange did. Things will get oversold, overwhacked, overbought, and then they'll come back down into position. Some things just get out of control and continue to rise, but at one point there will be at least a sideways consolidation or some type of pullback, right? So the worst case scenario is worst best case scenario is Bitcoin does start to, get rejected here, somehow never makes it back above 71,003, 71,004. That's your weekly support resistance there. For whatever reason, we don't breach 71.5. We just keep hitting it. We can't. And it just starts to kind of fall back down to the weekly 21 day, right? And we make some type of flag here, right? Which would be a giant cup and handle for Bitcoin, right? And still could, and we could even come further down possibly, right, to this area, this high volume node, or to this level, right? I'm not saying this is happening. I'm pointing out if we ever do lose the weekly levels. But right now, this is not on the cards, because right now the weeklies, for now, right tonight, which is Thursday night, we have 3 more days, the weekly is going to close above 69,000. So until that changes, I'm super bullish, right? Because there's just, you get what I'm saying? You sit in the premium you're on. Like, you sit in this is key to trading. Like, you don't act bearish. If you're bearish right now, you're not making any sense to me, because we're above weekly support. You know what I mean? So, like, being a bear right now, like, really to me can't be confirmed. Right now, being a bull is confirmed. Now, if we lose this level, then we're in the middle. If we lose that level, and if we lose the 65.5, then, like, the bearishness starts to be confirmed. All right? So, and again, I say this every day in the live too, but I'm talking to myself too, reiterating the technical analysis over and over again to myself is only going to make it, work better for me and keep my mental state from jumping into what I think, feel, or believe. Those things have no place in trading. I hope I don't get my stop loss hit. It's a hope, So anyway, boom. That's called a retest, and it looks like a retest on the 3-day chart. We've been waiting for the stochastics to reset. They're my bread and butter. Whenever they start to get flat and curve, and they've been down for literally, let's say 2 weeks now, that's a really good sign. And you've gone sideways. Also, my whole trading style is based off watching pumps, watching the Stokes get high, waiting for the price action to get near the 21 when the Stokes get low, and getting back in for a move. I do it on the 1 minute, right? I do it on the 7 minute. I do it on the 3-day. This is a macrocosm of the 7 minute. You get it? You see what I'm saying, Paul? Are you with me, Paul? Yeah, it's like we use the small flag. Like, we would trade this exact flag on the 1 minute chart or the 7 minute chart, right? But this is a 3-day. The 3-day is a chunky version of it. It's like bigger Legos, but same thing's going on here. We're waiting low stochastic. So whenever you see me scalping on the live stream, right? And I'm adding, and look, we can also almost throw in a little bit of hidden bullish here, because that's swinging down while that's swinging up, right? And, they should be matching, but they're not. RSI is showing some hidden bullish divergence. So shout out to Rex and Chad, man. You guys been part of the trading group for a long time. Really appreciate, like, they still come to screen shares. They've been in the trading group like 3 years. When I see that, it lets me know that we're on the right path. We're still teaching people. We're on the cutting edge. We found the new projects again. We found the new places to be. We found base. We found certain things to be in. Aerodrome really may become one of the bigger picks that I ever made at that 30-cent level, even at $1, if people got in a little later than me or some even before me. We also put out AOIZ when it was like 3 cents or something, right? Or 30, like when it was a very tiny number. A lot of coins we went over in the bear market, and we were buying them up. AGIX really early, just, man. And we even found a lot of coins super, it's I feel like we were in like, not, the bear market was tough. There was tough times, but I remember Demetra hitting a 7X in remember the January of 2023, if I remember that, right? So I remember hitting AGIX it went from 4 cents to 69 cents in December of 2022, right? That like October. So it's like, I'm pretty sure that we've been in like unprecedented times, and I've seen some big moves even in the bear market. And then I keep showing this 4-day chart, which is interesting to me because when I really flip the 4-day, it's in a really nice, basically bull pennant, it looks like it wants to pump. That's a bull pennant on the 4-hour time frame. And it's ready. It's getting closer to its 21. It's consolidating. See, when the stochastics, this is like something that if you keep this whole, my whole thing about trading was I wanted it to be a science. Because to me, as an Aries, if you know Aries, and I really think the signs make sense, to the Aries, things have to make sense. Like once someone does something that doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense to us. You know what I mean? Like if someone went to a store and the other store was right near there and they should have brought the other thing with them so they could do it, but they went twice and they kept doing it all the time, I would be like, why are they doing that? Like they need to go like they would bring the other thing and go there to, like, it's just like the Aries always wants to fill in, and if the Aries overlooks something, they want to like criticize it so they can do it the best. It's always like this, like, I find it's a trait, and maybe it's even just a trait of detailed individuals, right? But I find like I go after this, like, you want it to be the best way possible, right? So I kept trading and looking for like how I could shave risk away, all right? And so I found I was like, I need a constant. I need it to be scientific, right? For my Aries, things need to be scientific in a way to make sense. And I think that's all, most humans, I think it makes more sense if you can get some science to it. So like once I said, all right, the 21, needs to be the bigger time frames doesn't have to exactly touch, but it needs to be around. And if we can go more sideways and this can come with it, and then we can get a couple more days of sideways action, the bigger the move is going to be, But it's still, this is very healthy price action, specifically for bullish tones here. But the point I want to show you is, number one, I found two constants. One, my 21 touches price action on basically the daily on down, and even up to the 3-day chart. It might come close on the 4-day, and even and once you get really extended on the weekly, eventually it will come down to it. That's when the bear market begins, when the weekly decides to really like steamroll back to the 21 and then lose it, go to the 50, and then eventually come back to the 200 SMA. So that constant is the 21. I use it all the time. But the other constant that I use is and I've drawn this before, but like, say this is your stochastics RSI. And what I like about the stochastics RSI the most is they come back to the dotted line, like repetitively. Like here's the top, there's the bottom, there's the top, there's the bottom, there's the top, you can depend 90% of the time that the stochastics are going to breach the top dotted line and the bottom dotted line. And you can depend when they start to curve and come back up, that a bullish move is likely going to happen. And you can depend when they start to curve down, that a bearish move. Now, again, you could see this starting to curve down, and then you could see it flip up. But look, we got above a 200 SMA. See, when I didn't know the 200 SMA strictly, I would see the overbought stochastics and short. I would short this and get rocked. You get it? Because I was trading the indicators, which most people are. Once I learned that once you get above the 200, these indicators get pinned because the bots just love this. I started, that's when I became that's when everything changed for me, because, and then that's when I realized, and I fought it for years, and then I went back and forth, and then I finally had to realize like the 200, if I was going to win, the 200 would be my master. And if I let the 200 be my master, it was amazing. But back to this concept. So the stochastics are good. So this is the stochastics RSI down here. I'm just drawing you a version of it. And there's your dotted lines, right? I don't make them dotted, but you get it. And then price action likes to follow it. Like you'll come up, you'll come down. And you can see this kind of behavior. So like here, like price action came up, the stochastics came up. The stochastics came down, price action came down, right? Price action came up, the stochastics came up. Price action came down, the stochastics came down. So like they're supposed to be incongruent with each other. All right. So what we look for as traders is I look for the anomaly in that. And the anomalies of what got me paid. All right. And so what I look for is I look for price to come back up, come back down, come back up, come back down. Like here, it came back up, it came back down, it came back up. But then what happens is price will come back up and price will never come back down. It'll just slowly for the next few days just continue sideways. You'll draw a flag. The stochastics, however, will slowly trend back down. Eventually, the stochastics are curving back up, back where they want to be when they move back up. But you're not down here anymore. You're sideways. This is telling me that the huge move is coming. You get it? Like, it's a simple sign. I hope this... I fell upon this and realized it was the simplest way to trade. And then what happens is the moving averages get tight, and then the 21 comes up. So I'm always looking low stochastic, 21 touching price, boom. And, like, this is starting to show me signs of this here on the 4-day chart, right? Because the stochastics reset while price even went to the upside. When you see when the price makes a higher low and the stokes make a low, that's extreme divergence. You know, like it's not marked in divergence like the way I will teach you guys. Like I'll use this and stuff. And even here, like this could be considered hidden bullish as well, where like this swing up is a very sharp move up, but that's not, it's more of a sharp move down here. And yeah, you could say, but there's your low, but you kind of skip that low there. So if you were to take this swing low to this swing low and rise it up and this one here, you would see that it's starting to show me some hidden bullish divergence, right? Very, very extreme too, because like we didn't even have to get down here. And do you see what I mean? Like it's not perfect, but you can clearly see that this is more of a downtrend, and that's a scalable uptrend. You know, and if you draw this line this way and this line this way, they're definitely going to interact pretty fast. The faster these lines interact, the more vicious the divergence is. You know, if they're more and more parallel and they take some time, right? So that tells me, wow, like there's some, I smell some bullishness here, right? So, and I back tested this on like the 7 minute, the 1 hour, the 15, the 1 minute, and it's played out many times. I do this all the time on the live stream. You see me, I'll wait for the stokes to get low and there will be a flag, and that's why I'm getting in. Like it's like I've back tested this for years. So when I make a trade on the live, it looks like I'm making a trade on the live, but I'm using like 10 years of data to do it, and I know it's played out for me over and over. Like I'm not gonna make a fool of myself. I'm not gonna get dressed up nice and like. Some days I'm wrong, right? I had like our system was tough for 2 days because Bitcoin was just like, it wasn't, you know, up above. But then boom, it started to give us the money again. It started to pay off. And like I said, like 2 out of 30 days, sometimes things will be off. But like I find it's the closest thing to an ATM that I've been able to figure out when it comes to trading, right? And again, nothing's going to be perfect. You never can predict price action. Like that's the thing. We're not predicting price. It seems like I'm like, this is where it's going to go. I'm showing you the most probable behavior because I've watched price action for so long, right? It's like if you watch animals in the woods for 10 years and then you saw a pack of wolves and you've been studying wolves, you're like, well, they're likely going to do this after they eat prey. They're likely going to go here after they do that, right? Because you know what they do. Like you've been seeing it. You know the behavior patterns, right? And the market has behavioral patterns over time if you decide to watch them. So moving forward, like, but that's such a key concept. So again, we have it here too, how like we reset on the daily, stochastics are kind of floating around. We reset on the RSI, but price action has been moving up. And it's showing consolidation, and consolidation of such a large asset when you have so many people involved and you have all this, you know, this is telling me there's a move coming, right? The moving average is a little far apart, but they're close enough for another big explosive move. And you can even see, you know, a parabola forming here. You know, it's like step 1, 2, 3, 4, and like we could, you know, the blow off top, right? Like, you know, makes me wonder if like we're going to get really high in this December, and it's like, you know, I don't know. Who knows? I don't want to speculate too hard. I'm going to use the pi cycle and see wherever it really brings us. And we don't need to get into that now. That's like so far away. But so this makes me very bullish on Bitcoin, right? And we pointed this out, if you remember correctly too. We pointed this hidden bullish divergence out. You know, I may be one of the only people, but I saw this swinging up, that swinging down, and it told me that We called this bottom. If you remember, we got, we called this bottom like just yesterday, 2 days, was it Monday morning? We were able to find that. I mean, we saw the Adam and Eve double bottom. I had a short long going. I was in the middle, right? All right. So sorry, someone's just like, sometimes people can draw accidentally. I just want to make sure it wasn't. So we got the daily and the stochastics looking pretty nice. And then the 8 hours kind of like my sniper time frame. And it is curving down. It may come down a little lower and scoot, which means it might come down here. And we don't want to lose this trend line. We lose this trend line, yeah, like I'm ready for the fact that we could break this low. But right now, like we have the high, the low, the high. Like we're in this tight trend. We're getting tighter and tighter. To me, it looks like there's only a matter of time, break on out. And the key level you need to break is this 71,008, really even 72K. And then, I mean, we're so close. Look how, I mean, we're a stone throw away from the all-time high. Like, it's just, it's right there. 73,800, right? Funny, the candle was 73,7770, which I find 73,770. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin unless it breaks this bottom trend line. And my system is speaking to me. Tight moving averages, huge move. Then we elongated. We even got wide when the 21 got away. We came down, but the moving averages got their act back together. We got nice and close and tight. This is bull pennant to me on the 8 hour more than a symmetrical. It's just looking really, really bullish. And then even today, we got some little moves that we were looking for, right? We were looking for the 1 hour. We wanted to make sure it got back above the 200. Once the 1 hour got back above this 200, open up the trade with the stop loss there, boom, gone. You know, we didn't even need to trade it like that. We traded this, right? The 15-minute looked like it wanted to move. Let's see if this, where was this at? Yeah, 8 in the morning, right? So this is, I'm live on the live stream, 11, 15, 12, and we were saying, you know, this is our reversal, right? And let's take a look at the 7. And we were like, can the 7 get above the 200 SMA? Once that happens, that's a bullish sign. There was a little bit of bullish div, though, sitting there, too. And, like, look, this is even like a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. And then we had this little flag. And it's like, as long as we stayed above that 200 SMA, right? The 1 minute got above the 200 right here. And boom. And we had this flag, and then we had this flag, too, which played out. Eventually, we got a pullback later on. Boom. I didn't trade, any of this because to me it was just, but I wanted to see us go back to the top of the pattern on that smaller, on the smaller time frame pattern we had going on too, which was in here like so. But, so far so good for Bitcoin. Like I'm really, you have nothing to say about it. Like it's doing well. Like sideways is great. When an asset pumps this hard and consolidates, because something that's that big and pumps that hard, usually people want to take profits, right? So how could the whole world pile in, watch the market caps get so big? Because the ETF people aren't buying it to sell it off. They're buying it to basically stake the asset, not stake the asset like a stake, but stake the asset like we would stake, in our DeFi, but show the world like we have the backing of this Bitcoin. You know what I mean? And which to me is really staking in a way. It's taking it out of circulation, saying, hey, I believe in this product. And yeah, Peter Schiff says, oh, the Wall Street will sell everything. And that's true. But like Larry Fink also doesn't want to lose. And how would he feel if he didn't buy it and it did become bigger than he thought? What would he do then? Right? So he'd rather try to get into a market, manipulate it, become the boss of it. Well, he can always abandon it when he really truly needs to, I guess, than not get in too early enough to basically not become a major player. I mean, that's funny. Was it going to get approved? Was it not? Then they did the fake tweet. We got rug pulled that was crazy, right? By the unmentionable. I won't even say the name. But so, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. And so let's take a look at the smaller time frame. You're kind of just in some chop, right? That's like a shoulder, a head, and a possible right shoulder. You'd like to see the 15-minute break out of this. Symmetrical triangles usually break to the downside. And to me, it would make more sense if we could come back down at least to 67.2 one more time. But, there's a good chance we could stay above the point of control and continue to the upside. I'm in a big long right now, basically trading the big flag with a stop underneath these lows, right? Underneath 64,000 and basically a target up somewhere in the 90s, 91,000. So, I have a really big trade open right now that I got into right around here because I figured in this dip and we came in here, when we got above the 200, I'm here. And then we might come down and go up inside and down. And if we start to break out here, I may cut it off, or I may get stopped out. It's a pretty big trade. I'm risking probably like 3,000 for about 18,000, So it's a bigger trade, right? But the last time I did this one, I won a huge trade. So I'm risking some of those profits. You know what I mean? So even if I did lose the 3, I'd still be up on it. So I'm risking some of the profits. And it's probably one of the bigger leverage trades I've ever made. So we'll see where it goes, right? But if we got this huge move and I missed it, so be it. So I'd rather risk it for the biscuit, and we'll see what happens, right? But so far, the 4-hour didn't lose the 200. Very important that we didn't we didn't start to drop, and this, we got back above it. We're showing signs of consolidation, and the bigger time frames look good to me. So I'm long Bitcoin. And to me, this could be our last possible chance to accumulate before we really start to run up. And, you may never be able to buy Bitcoin below, 70,000 ever again. Like these I don't want, I look at it the other way. Everyone's more afraid and think it's going to dump on us. I'm more afraid I'll never get enough Bitcoin. And so once you flip your mindset to realize, for me, and again, I'm not your financial advisor, but once I flip my mindset in that direction, it becomes so much easier for me to buy it all the time, right? Because I'm just I've given up on having to make my money immediately on everything I buy. I'm okay with a patient gain, and I just want to store my wealth at this point and not freak out about inflation every 5 seconds. I can take the volatility of Bitcoin in the 4-year cycle because I know how to play it and I can use it to my advantage, and I can get in on the lows every time I need to, and we don't seem to revisit them. We're not at 3,000 again. I believe it'll be highly unlikely we see 15,000 again, but I'm open-minded that it could happen though. As I said, I was saying that tweet that I put out the other day, but the definition of a professional trader is someone that knows the market could do anything at any given moment. The market could do right now. Bitcoin could start to tank, and we could start to see 55,000. Right now, we could start to pump and see a huge move. Is that likely? Very unlikely. It's likely we go sideways through the night with low volume on a Thursday. But I also know that anything is possible in the market at any given moment in time. So that's Bitcoin. I mean, we have Bitcoin in a nutshell tonight. I don't have to sit here and talk us through a dump. We're not getting huge volatility. We're pretty much between 69.8 and 70,005. Right now, $1,000 range is pretty small compared to Bitcoin. So we're just ranging, and again, just keep watching how the 200 hangs out with price action. Keep watching how we get tight and the 200 comes through, right? And again, if we do a bearish retest, we start to fall. It's a chance they're doing some type of, bear trap. So we'll watch it closely. We'll see, and we'll get back above a 200 SMA, and we'll play it the way we've always played it, and the market should guide us correctly. The charts will tell us. But I see sideways price action for most of the night. It would be great if we get a surge and we break back above this. Doesn't look like it's, the most amazing moment right now, but the 1 hour has some momentum. And you are in this, like I showed you, like a symmetrical triangle here, right? So only time will tell. I'm more bullish than bearish because we're above the 200 SMA, right? And we're at tight moving averages. We have this point of control that we're above. And this almost kind of has shoulder, head. It kind of has an inverted head and shoulder vibe to me in a way. And this is a bigger symmetrical triangle, right? This one too. It's almost the same pattern, just bigger. So we'll see. It'll be, and if Bitcoin can break back above 71,320, then its next step is going to be 72,800, and then we're talking 73.9, and that's the all-time high. So I almost wouldn't be surprised if we wake up tomorrow and we do break through the all-time high. So I'm in the long because it looks either sideways or to the upside, right? And I'm willing to take that chance. So And again, if you were trying to just get an idea of my long, it's like entries really anywhere through this area from the bottom here to the top, this whole area. And if we get a wick even, that would be a blessing. But entries in this cap, and really where we were at, and using this low or even this low for the stop and going, attempting to get to 91,000, because when we break out again, we'll be in serious. That will be like the real big price discovery, and there could be some movement there. All right. So that's Bitcoin. And the whole market has a little bearish sentiment there too, which is interesting. And let's look at some token metrics coins. So remember, Gearbox came out, a month and a half ago. The name alone was hot to me, I don't, you know what I mean? But I researched the team, looked like it could come. I like the market cap of it. I saw it on enough exchanges, and I started DCing into it, and now I've a little more than doubled my money on it, and I want to see where this goes. So this is something that caught my eye that I really like, that's in my portfolio. All right. S-Ton, I don't know what that is, if it's listed but stone.fi. So it's some, funny, Astro Pepe X, I've traded on and off every once in a while. It's all right. Aerodrone, again, I can't say enough about Aero. I really can't. And you're like, yeah, I know, Sam, you had a bag of it, but it's just, even if I didn't have a bag of it, I would be putting it on your radar, right? And so Aerodrone, a big deal. And then Pepe on the ordinals, okay, which is on BingX. It may be on Mexi. Mexi tends to have everything, but we could see Pepe BR. Some people call it, I think, Pepe BRC. Let's see. It's crazy how many Pepes there are now too, which is just bananas. But Bitmart has it as Pepe BRC. But this thing's been ripping. Look, it just ripped from 39 to 51. The ordinals are getting hot again. Runes is making things a big deal. We're going to get in. I'm going to deep dive Runes again this week and put more, effort into it. I was in Runes a month and a half ago. I was sending $7,000 of Bitcoin in there. But it wasn't perfect what happened there. So, but the idea is I knew Runes was going to be hot, and I was in on it a month ago. I had the key, I had the hookup. My man, people were coming to me telling me, hey man, this is going to be big. We know you like alpha. I found all this alpha out. I'm hanging out in the Discord. I know what's going on. Now, so this coin's starting to really get a big move. Once it gets above here, it's going to go back into some big, I could see it really pumping. And it's doing some serious damage, man. Pepe BRC20. And it would come back to its all-time high again. The other Pepe broke its all-time high. So this thing hasn't yet. And this was out before. I'm pretty sure this was out before Pepe. I could be wrong though. No, May 2023. No, it couldn't have been, because that's when I sold the other Pepe. But yeah, so see the 4 hour too? Looks like it's just getting started. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this at a buck, you know what I mean, and continuing. Now, that's not to be confused with Pepe Coin, all right? Pepe Coin on MEXC, which is also the Pepe Coin that I was showing you, that's that you can buy on the decentralized exchanges, right? This is the coin that's going to get burned in conjunction with based AI. And so this is what happened to me this week. And I've said it a bunch of times, so you might be done, but this is where I recap kind of what I did each week. And, I didn't even know maybe at the last meeting that I would be doing based AI at 1 a.m. to my Osborne. But I research a lot of different YouTubers too. I watch a lot of people at 3 times speed, and I get as much information as I can around the web about people that are in Discords, people that are going places, right? I combine that with my token metrics data. I combine that with my own research. If I go into a section, I'll go to CoinMarketCap. When RWA is big, I go to categories. I find RWA and I spend time in there. You know what I mean? Funny, animal racing. That's a new category that we could trade, right? Probably D-race with a Barachain was something that I was kind of getting into a possible airdrop with, and had I have the chain on my MetaMask, and I was using it a little bit. Farming as a service, which is interesting, right? Fast, like a SaaS, but now we have fast. And I'm all about the new techie narrative, right? Phantom had Byzantine fault tolerance, right? 0 Byzantine fault tolerance, right? It was Phantom had its own, it was built on its own code, right? It didn't really like, it was just, that's why I liked Phantom, you know? And I always kind of look at things that have that going for them, right? And that's always important for me to get that. Like we got real estate, so you could just click on real estate, and then like those are going to be RWA plays in real estate. So like I'll open that into a new tab, right? So I don't have to take away what I'm doing now. I think decentralized socialization too might be interesting, right? Launch pads, right? Just like, and they might not be perfect. I like AI, like I always like AI and big data. And then, you know, identity, kinetic, Moon River ecosystem, if like that's your, you know, and look, it just goes on and on. Like Pal AI, right? Which is, you know, the new Shido, which is funny. The Phantom ecosystem, where we could maybe learn about a new meme or something, yeah. And what I'm looking for here is funny is real world assets, which we should have here somewhere. What you should be able to like just, you know, storage is kind of, and then you could just kind of do your own framework with like tokenized stocks. That's a real world asset, right? And that's why I'm buying token. I tell you, I keep accumulating this coin, TokenFi, generative AI. That's, you know, and I spend hours and hours doing this, like to the point where like it's a full-time job. Not only am I searching and charting, it just, and somehow I fall into the next, you know, and sometimes I'm a little late, sometimes I'm spot on, but I'm somehow always grabbing the next trend, you know, or I'm close to it, or I'm sniffing on it, and I'm getting a piece of the action, and I'm building portfolios, and, you know, it's so rewarding to constantly keep kind of grinding in that way, right? And look, TokenFi has a launch pad. So now like TokenFi is also real world and launchpad. Things start to kind of get pretty interesting, right? I'm going to give up looking here. Funny, Duckstarter was big, and the last run had some 100Xs come out of it. Wonder if it might do it again. And so now we have like a lot of stuff to kind of look. Winklevoss Capital portfolio, that's interesting. You see what they actually bought possibly. The Bitcoin ecosystem, right? So I'm going to hook you up tonight. You're going to have like a big understanding of what's going on. So key narratives that I'm going to be playing, all right? And then I am playing. You see me actively playing. I saw Ontology Gas. It's in this beautiful double bottom. They tend to break to the upside. You know, I'm not saying it's guaranteed to do that. Let's look at how this, you know, this 4 hour resets. But let's see if this can like what's called like a retest. Stay outside of the pattern, but just like come back here and maybe bounce off the pattern. Let's see if the 4 hour can get a bounce. Like that could be what's called a retest. And it even has, you know, a bit of a cup and a handle vibe. And the 37-cent Ontology Gas could be headed up to 50 cents. So it looks something that looks promising to me. But so here's the deal, right? Kind of, I'm heavy on AI, right? They kind of merge some AI and AI gaming together, but I still like gaming, but it's losing a little bit of its flair. But we're talking like Illuvium, Immutable X, you know what I mean? Vulcan Forge, PYR, and then like the slew of anything that kind of falls suit below that, right? YGG, you know, Guild Games. I think there's GGG, YGG. Quote me. I don't know if I get. I'm pretty sure. Gods Unchained, right? Like there's, you know, and you could pick your poison here in this game. Like I sprinkle it around a few different ones. Like I like Wild Coin, right? The Wild, you know, Wilder World, and just, you know, you could still do Axie Infinity. You can look for new games, right? I have games for a living now, right? I got Myria, you know, I got BMX, which, you know, so like I basically took gaming to another level. I got a slew of that stuff. I got it. I'm locked on it. It is what it is, right? Bang. Now, so like, and so that's gaming. And then for AI, right? I was in AGIX. I've recently added, you know, AI Tech, which also has a launch pad, right? Which you can stake. I like Aura Chain, which I'm in right now, which has gone up because a lot of these are up. Like we got them into the bear markets, right? But they are pullback places where I believe accumulation is key. If Bitcoin takes its next big move up, some altcoins will bleed a little bit less, bleed a little bit, but most of the narrative altcoins, they're just going to start to pump the second Bitcoin takes a break or even just hits a key level when we know that everyone's just kind of like, they have enough people still in fear, and that's good because we need people to short this market to create exit liquidity. Like, we want to see liquidity above us, right? And to do that, we need to see a bunch of stop losses up there. So we need people to short the market. They need to then flip their stop losses into buys as we also get buyers coming into the market. And then boom, right? And then if we get soft data or dovish talks by the Fed, then next thing you know, we have like a whirlwind. And we know they have to print money. The system is made to print money. We knew that. I saw how it's built. So they have to print more money. There's no other way out, right? So a lot of this AI... and there's slews of, I could go over my whole portfolio, which I usually sometimes do, but it's just kind of growing out of control here. And I don't want to like be braggy or like look like I'm flashing things. So I'm in between on but I could read them off too, right? So like Fetch AI, right? I have some of that. AI Tech, I got that. I own some WIF too. Like I believe having some WIF, I got into WIF early too. I like Lier AI. That's my newer AI play that I've added in. I like Terra as another like small cap gem play. I like Pocket Network. I like Paid Network. I still got my Palm AI. We'll see where that goes for the months ahead. And so I like GT AI as well, a token that did pretty well. And again, some of these are a little late if we didn't get in too early. And there's going to be new ones that we're looking at. All right. And then as far as like real world assets, I like Ondo. I like Props. Right, which had a really big move. Now it's coming back down. Probably a good place to accumulate. You don't want to be chasing. I like TokenFi as a real world asset. Right, that's a coin that I'm in. Token, as we just showed you before there. And then like Layer, and then I got my Caspa play because I like Caspa. And then I'm in, and so which are layer proof of work, right? Proof of work layers. So I like Caspa. That was like a more new narrative that came out. We also have Nura AI. Right? Is it Nura? Let me see what Nura. I haven't looked at it in a while. Ondo is like institutional real world asset. Manta. I see Manta doing similar once we get back into the rally again and TVL starts to move. I like Manta a lot. That's why I've been accumulating Manta. I see Jasmy doing numbers. Today, Jasmy's up. Like my bag of Jasmy went up from like 38 to about 5,200 today. So Jasmy had a nice little move to the upside. And the setup was nice for Jasmy too as well. We flipped ATR from very small to a little bit. I threw money back in there, and I'm going to ride a bag and see where it goes. Yeah, it is Nur AI, but it's NEU, right? So Nur AI is on my radar. Palm. And again, Nur AI is a very small, like obscure play. Like I'd almost advise it's like a little too risky and it doesn't get enough publicity. Like if you didn't get in long term and, just kind of let it sit. And, then there's memes galore, right? Which is like, memes are really up to you. Like I put out memes when I see things, but I really don't love pushing people too into memes. I like GFI, Goldfinch too, as another dollar cost average coin. And, Pendle to me kind of is just like the one that got away. Like I don't like to chase something that's gotten too high. But again, there's still a chance that Pendle could make gains. We were trading Pendle though, just on and off before I didn't even realize what it really was. I was just, swing trading it in the bear market. Like I wasn't doing as many deep dives back then. I would just be like, oh, this coin looks good. We'll swing it. Right. So I don't know. You could take a list of those coins. So like, again, I'm in AI narratives. I'm in gaming narratives. I'm also in proof of work. Right. I'm also, and then I also realized when base came out that I should be getting into base. And that's where the whole Arrow idea came from. And let's talk about Arrow Drone too, because it's on Coinbase. I believe it's on KuCoin. We don't have it on MEXC for whatever reason, right? And we had it in this nice flag, and there it goes, breaking out the flag right there. And, is it going to continue to pump? Who knows? But it just broke the resistance that it's had since April 8th, right? Not long, but 3 days. And we want to see if it can break here. And it's very close to its all-time high again, right? Its all-time high was $2. So it's 6 cents away. It has some movement here. The 4-hour looks like it's just getting started, and it's about to continue to pump. So I put this to the trading group. We talked about it. You'd be in the money from 8 hours ago at about like 180, 184. Not amazing. I'm not, but and we're looking for the bigger move here to 273. And then, like I showed you, I talk about this being like cake. And I talk about the ecosystems. The last few weeks, I've been really, during the live, not only have I been trying to show you guys technical analysis, but I've been trying to provide to you like how we connect the dots in cryptocurrency by understanding what happened to a previous ecosystem and then following that through, right? Now, it may sound like a broken record, but I just want to keep saying that, right? Because like I saw cake, and it's simple stuff. Like it's the automated market maker. Like what's the premier coin that they go to the swap? They're going to be swapping all the time. That coin's going to be used as liquidity. It has a utility. People are going to know about it. And then people are going to speculate on it. So you got people like me speculating, buying, and it's useful. And then who's backing it? Well, Coinbase. Coinbase is a publicly traded company. And so like you might see like I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a base, I don't know if they can, but like a base commercial one day or something like that. Or when I go to the Celtics games, Coinbase is on the bottom of all the that's the padding that they put on. It says Coinbase on the bottom of the basketball hoops. And so, like, they're all over the TD Garden. And so when I buy Arrow, like, and I go to the Celtics game, like, and I see Coinbase, like, that's my Arrow. You get it? Like, they're pumping my bags right there, man, because Coinbase Ventures is back in Aerodrome. So, like, I figured it was a no-brainer. You get it? Like, I took what I knew already with it just, like, this could end up being one of the best investments I ever made, Who knows? Knock on wood. But it's looking like it may be a big winner, you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. And it may turn like $4,000 into $250,000. Like it really could, it could be a nice little come up here. So, and we got to baby it and watch ourselves. And, but even I remember when the daily first really got big, it still showed signs of a move here and it didn't give back its gains and stayed above resistance. So as long as we stay above, let's say 178, 177, I'm more and more bullish on Arrow as it continues to move, right? So this week, once I understood that, and so the major play that I made really was this based AI. Like I did watch Kyle talk about it, and then I did my own research. I read the white paper, and once I fell into the right here, right, the zero knowledge language models on the large language model on the LLMs, and I understood what they were doing with the fully homomorphic encryption with any large language model. Like, so you understand, like, I don't have to be a coder to know how to code exactly to figure this out. But what I am is like, I understand what's missing in a piece that would make sense that someone would have to create, right? I may not know how to create it, but I can see the bigger picture and think about it. Like close your eyes and understand machine learning and speed and data. We want to move it, and very similar to blockchain. So I'm closing my eyes, and I'm thinking about AI, and I'm an AI computer right now trying to move fast. And I'm talking to all the other AI, and I want the data, right? But do I get all the privacy? Like, do I get everything? No, like that doesn't work. So like, how do we move fast in a world of data AI that we need all the data compute, right? So like every AI needs every AI. Like my car needs to know everything about all the traffic lights and the world around it. And the more my car can understand, right, the better it responds, right? As AI works. So that means all AI needs to speak as closely as it can to all AI, right? And each data needs to be accessible through a mass scale. And like that's really how we could grow on an infrastructure level to some other unknown place, right? And that's how my mind starts connecting the neurons to that. And you're like, wow. And when you get there, you realize that like we can't have all the data out though. Like so that comes that privacy, scalability. And so through this fully homomorphic, and homomorphic, when you think like we are Homo sapien, like of like kind, so it can morph it of a like nature, so we can morph it, but we can still understand it because we aren't. It's the like one where we're familiar with it, but yet we change the way the data is encrypted, right? So it's homomorphic encryption, like, and it starts to make complete sense to me, and I'm like, wow, I get this, and are you kidding me? It's at a $3 million market cap. Like, am I out of my mind? I see Cornell University right here. You see, so like I'm just, I almost feel like I'm drinking Kool-Aid, right? Because it sounds a little too good to be true. And you know what? If it is, so be it. Because the speculative nature of this is just like, wow. And so the it's called Cerebus squeezing, right? And I believe like Cerebus comes from the cerebellum. Like you think of the brain, right? And you think of like, structuring, data that the brain can full, squeezing it into these smaller sections of space or of data. But so in the simple terms of this is somehow I can give you my data without giving you all my information about me. But so basically AI can really start to access each other, but there can be layers of privacy through decentralized encryption. And decentralization through AI is a key, right? We don't want everyone having the centralized data. Like when you everyone found out when they went to ChatGPT, one day you asked it a certain question and you got an answer that was pretty funny, and you realized it was biased. Like it actually had a biased opinion. It wasn't like as open as you thought it was. And you're like, oh, that's interesting, And so like we really want that, and again, the powers that be don't want that. Like they don't want decentralized information. You can clearly see that, right? Like anyone that tried to decentralize the information has been getting hacked and fired. But you know what's great? They're going to X and starting their own shows, or they're using their own name and their own brand, and they're being, and that's how it should have been to begin with. Like the second someone was taking a paycheck, they were always on the till to do something that they were supposed to, their boss wanted them to do, right? Like the James O'Keefe's now out on their own. Like it's great to see, for his own company kicked him out. You know what I mean? It's like off the, but it's and again, whether you like these people or don't like these people, investigative journalists are key for our world to keep things in check and balances. It's so important, I believe, that like the powers that be know that there might be someone on their back, telling putting out what they're doing and explaining to people, connecting the dots, right? So, vigilance is key in journalism, and like a lot of people put their life on the line for journalism. It's very interesting, investigative reporters, and my friend's wife, like that, she's getting into that a lot now. And like, I always like pray for her now because like she kind of sticks her head in some places that, maybe some people don't want some things being uncovered. Right. And it's, it's that serious to me now because I see someone I know doing it, and it was never someone I actually knew, So now I'm like, oh, wow. Like I just I'll read about a case that she works on or something that she's digging deep on. And I'm almost like, just like tread lightly over there, just don't get too deep, but nice little pump for Bitcoin. Let's take a look, right? And this is good for alts, right? So Pepe coin let's break down what's going on, right? So to understand base, you look at the white paper or the brain launch, right? And so there are two ways to mint a brain. Gas optimized base AI brain launch. You stake 100,000 Pepe for 3 months, right? Which is 600 grand, right? If I'm correct, right? Because Pepe coin's like $6 right now. So like that's like I'm not doing that, right? That's like a lot of money. Burning Pepe, like I'm pretty sure that's, you know what I mean? Because Pepe coin right now is like $6. Nice short squeeze. Look at this. Nice short squeeze. Just a quick one though. It looks like we tapped like 600 there. 580. But again, you can see like I'm not seeing some bearishness right now. You know what I mean? Like we're showing strength. But you can also burn Pepe in exchange for brain credits at an increasing rate, starting 1 Pepe for 1 brain credit. Compares to nearly 80% of the total supply of Pepe will be burned. For those even if I never touched, what I like to do is find out about this stuff and then just speculate the heck on the assets. Sometimes I've gone in and I wish I didn't. Sometimes I've gone in and I've gotten paid immensely. And then more than likely I've just speculated. So like just the fact that I could buy Pepe coin on MEXC and I see all this going on, it just gives you a pretty idea that, hey, the thing might want to take off here. And look, it's cup and handling. We could almost change this up a little bit and start to show that it's doing this. And so is it starting to go parabolic? Rising wedges. And I'm telling you, when Kyle hypes something up, Kyle Chasse with 136,000 followers, he hypes it up, right? So like, I now know who to be aware of. See, that's another key gift that I was given. I know what YouTubers have sway with their community and that are honest guys too, that like people listen to for real information and real data. You know, people that I know people respect me. There's people that I respect, right? And we're all grinding, like, you know, doing our deep dives, finding different things. And so like, you know, I know he's also out there like every night. He's going to be talking about this. He's going to be, so it has a cheerleader with a large, it has, so, you know, that's social media. That's basically like having running ads, right? It's got its own little social media ad pumping for it. Even if we just, you know, even if we just made 121% gains and we walked away and we never cared about a brain again, you know what I mean? That's, to me, that's what speculative investing is. All right. Like cutting the heart out of the trade and just knowing that other people are going to be using it, getting into it and using that to our advantage. So not only, and even if we didn't know any of that, what I love about it is I'm just a TA nerd, tight moving averages above the high volume node. Stokes getting low in the 4 hour, right? Like, and so many times, that's why sometimes I miss out because I'll make this trade, make 120, and I'll never even know what the hell the coin was. Months later, I'll be like, wow, I was trading something that was like that was actually a really awesome project, and I didn't know because I was just so into the TA, you know? So it goes hit or miss, but the fact that you could, it's so cool how you don't even need to, so like this is already telling me that Pepe's going to get burned and something's going on with it. The technical analysis is giving me the insight to the ecosystem. The ecosystem is giving me insight to the technical analysis. And this is how I really build like foolproof plans to like, you know, like how did he double up again, right? How did he find the one coin again? How does he repetitively do this? Like, because, you know, I'll be up all night next week till 2 a.m. Like I'll be grinding. Like I won't stop. Like there's going to be I don't want to come back and see you guys find out that this thing moon and again, we are pretty late. It did moon already, like pretty nicely, but I have heard about it. And honestly, between you guys, I heard about so many gosh dang Pepes in a 3-week period that it was out of control. It was like, what's Pepe coin? Pepe BRC? Oh, Pepe on this. Oh, now we got new Pepe. And then we got the original Pepe and then the Pepe that we traded when we started trading. And so it just, it's hard. I'll be honest, it's a difficult game. Like you can't the worst thing that anyone could do in this market is beat themselves up because they didn't get into Pepe coin at 50 cents. Like, cause there's the fact right now, Dave might know about 10 coins that I don't. Right now, Manny might know about 7 coins that I don't, right? I might know about 8 more coins than he doesn't, right? And like, I could go find out about his 7 coins and just beat myself up tonight because I didn't know about those. And he could do the same to me. And we could just both spend our whole nights being like, oh, why didn't we? And what we can do though, is just, you know, understand where we're at, look at it for what it is and play that idea. Right. So yeah, you know, beautiful time. Again, it would have been easier to get 100,000 Pepe coins when it was 50 cents, but it still would have been expensive, right? It was 50 grand though, right? That's all it was. Or no, 20,000 at 50 cents. But dang, man, now it's going to cost you 600 grand, right? Which is pretty, $680,000 to get a brain. But because of what this project has going for it, it's interesting. So now we look at based AI, which I don't believe we can snatch anywhere. Looks like Polonia. Did Poloniex grab it up? Funny, yeah. It started at $4,800. It's so silly. It is here on Poloniex at $10. But not worth it. I was just looking on Deck Screener. There's Toby we went over today. That the frog, we got dropped Toby on base. And you did, if you use base, you were given them an airdrop of Toby. Okay. So I'm just like, I just believe that, and again, Pepe is a little far gone for me. Like Pepe, I just may swing trade. But the based AI is the the based AI right here. It's got the $300 million market cap, 3.6 in liquidity. And yeah, I can just see this thing doing some serious numbers. And like, I compare it to BitTensor at a $3 billion market cap. That's a 10x coming, right? I see it tight here. It hasn't really moved much, and I've been in this thing. So yeah. And it's the ETH. You want to get the run on ETH. It's not on base. See, this is going to be super confusing because you're like, yeah, based AI on base. But no, like this is just, it's like, of course they had to use the word based AI. It's like, so Whether they did it for marketing purposes, I don't know what they did, or who knows, they may have came out with it before it all happened. I don't know. But it's, it's the $10 one, all right? The let's see what the market, the address I'll paste here in the comments just so. And again, you don't have to buy this because I bought it at all. Even if you just watch what happens to base AI and you learn, and then the next ecosystem you make a move on, like Tone, or maybe you get into Kava and you see Kava doing something, right? And bang, 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 Bitcoin, right? 70,560, right? And look, arrows following that. Bitcoin starts to pump tonight. I mean, and the shorts are getting squeezed, man. They keep thinking, the fear is so strong in people, man. And they have fear at a higher rate than ever. So if you can remove fear, you can really dominate this market. The average person can't. So that's your superpower. And so that's why my belief in God makes me a better trader, because I'm not afraid to die. And so if I'm not afraid to die, I'm not afraid to metaphorically die as a trader, right? You know what I mean? I'm not afraid. I am not afraid. Fear does not exist. What are we afraid of? People are so afraid of losing their money. Why? Because they don't believe that they can produce more. Fall in love with the idea that you're a maker and not a taker, and that you will always be able to produce. They could take everything from me. God forbid, I hope they never do. But everything could fall apart on my life. They could try to take everything from me, right? But they could never take away my work ethic. I would just wake up, work out the next morning, find another opportunity, and do it every single day until I was a winner again. It's so simple to me. Like, I have it. Like, once you have work ethic and discipline, that's with you for the rest of your life, And now you keep it by not hanging out in the bar rooms, by not doing drugs, by not, you know what I mean? You keep it by staying disciplined, by being a family man, hanging around other family men. Like, like one of my main friends here, when I came to Boston, I didn't have that many friends. I didn't. My old friends didn't reach out that well. They weren't as responsive. They must have thought I was really busy too, which I could see from afar. And, one of my closer friends was a 54-year-old, real estate guy with 2 kids, and like constantly reminded me of how great it was to be a dad, how great it was to be with my kids. Like, whenever our daughters were together, like, it was just a blessing, And so it just, that was, so the last 4 years, I kept myself away from any negative influences, right? And that's important. And again, I don't want to preach God. I know, like, you don't have to, I found God, whatever, it's my life. Like, I know everyone has a unique experience on this world, right? I love people that find religion and stuff, but it always, it throws me a little off when people like force that you have to be into their religion. Like, I'm just always like, all right, God, like, I get you're into God. I get you're into this. I get you found it through that but like, let me find my way. And I get it, So I 100%, I never want to come off as Friar Tuck or an evangelist, or, you know what I mean? But like, I am super passionate though about like there being a being or a feeling or an energy here that understands us, whether it's math, I can't tell you, I'm not telling you I know it all, but there's something there, man, that knows me and knows my true nature and knows if I am on an honorable path or a shady path, right? And it can read me. And I know when I'm not doing the right thing, my life isn't going well. And when I'm doing the right thing, my life is going well. And like, I want to continue for my life to do well, right? So, that's, and so like, believing in God does help trading, because it's like, I believe I'm worth it. So I believe I can win. So I stay positive. It helps me believe that I'm the opportunity in life, right? That I can bring more opportunity into my life. It enhances my value in myself and the value in others. Like, I was with my daughter the other day, and I was like, she was like, why did you just say, you were really nice to that person and you don't know that person? And I said, but Summer, everyone is made by God. So like, once you believe in God, then you have to treat everyone correct. I said, black, white, Spanish, it doesn't matter who they are, where they are. If familiar, different. I said, they're a gift from God, every human being. Whether they know it or not, you treat everyone as a gift in your life. You know what I mean? And like, that's like, my daughter is going to learn, like, she's just going to be, she's going to learn such a great way to be. And we see it in her every day. Today, she had her rehearse, she had a play, and we saw her on stage. She had a couple lines. and she was really excited to dance and sing. And we saw all the parents there for their kids, and it was just it was a wholesome moment watching my 9-year-old daughter. I remember being on stage at 9 years old. That was when I first did a play. I was in third grade. So she did just like I did, and I was just like, this is this is what it's all about, right? So anyway, look, Bitcoin never lost to 200. Did kind of a double bottom here. This is like the long we talked about way back when, right? At 11:15 in the morning. Look, this is all day long. But I said if we do anything, we trade the long. I said make sure we don't lose the 200. We got real close to it, but we never lost it. And so I knew that if we never lost the 200, we would be bullish throughout the day. And we're just getting tighter in this channel now. Do we make a huge breakout tonight? There's a chance. It's more likely we see more sideways price action. But, things are heating up a little bit. But I wouldn't get too excited by a $200 move. You can get it's a bit of a double bottom. All right. So let's see if there's any new coins on the march, too, that we haven't heard about yet that are new. But look, now Pepe Ordinal. So BRC20 is starting to blow up again, too. And that's why I'm in orange, right? Which is, and that's why I took a shot on that TX20. It may, I'm down like $700 because I just kind of aped in there. We'll see what happens on that one. I may cut it off early and move on, but we'll see. Ord swap, which is hot. Ord swap and Ords, like they're, Ords and Ordi. I own Ordi. I just think it's worth having. You know what I mean? It's 73 cents. It's going to have its next. We got into, I don't know if you remember, but I put our Ordi when it was $5. And then out of nowhere, BRC20 ripped and the thing went to 60 cents, like really fast. Then it went to like 85 or something, got hyped up, came back down to like the 40s and the 50s. I started buying a little more. And Bitcoin getting kind of nice now here, though. It's almost like a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. It's just getting tight right here. Even right here. See this? This is tight. We're getting the moving averages are getting the movement there. The 30-minute has a room. And look, the 30-minute just breached the 200 SMA. So look for Bitcoin to try to come and tussle, I'd say 71.6 and maybe all the way back up to 72.8, I'll be honest, anything is possible. I wouldn't be surprised we broke the all-time high into tonight and we wake up tomorrow morning and like we're just at all-time highs and things are, But I don't want to sell a picture that's a guarantee. Who knows? But look, this is a bit of like a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. You just breached the 200 SMA. You got some room here. You double click. You have a very lack of momentum on the MACD. It's very, very little bearish momentum. Looks like a short squeeze is about to occur here, at least up to 71.5. We may get a $1,000 move here for Bitcoin. And the squeeze is on right now. I'm telling you, man, whenever I'm at the computer, like all day, no squeeze. We get a nice squeeze finally on the live. And look, that right shoulder looks pretty nice. Could easily just get stomped out here and go sideways. I'm always weary of a Thursday night. You know what I mean? It's not Tuesdays in the day, right? It's a little different. But again, in bull markets, Friday could get exciting too. So look at this. This is getting pretty violent right now. That's a squeeze and a half now. Would you look at that? And look, 72,000 is calling our name. And it's the 71.5, 71.8,000 that really, we need to break back above that. So this looks like it wants to get back up to 70K. I'm all for all bullish movement. I told you, I'm in a very big long right now. I'd like to make 20,000. You know what I mean? So we will see. We will see. All right. But I'm more bullish than bearish right now on Bitcoin as long as, again, I'd say the same thing as I said today. Stay above the 200 on the 30-minute. Look at the 30-minute. Our next level looks like we'll get to 71.5. We'll see what happens when we get there. But, and it looks like we're about to breach. I mean, we're getting pretty bullish here. Look, it is. Look, that's a shoulder. Comes back up. There's the head. There's the right shoulder. You can see the stochastics still have room to go up. You're like, why the 30 minutes, Sam? I mean, I just fluctuate between the 15, the 30, and the 1 hour. The 1 hour has legs too, though. The 1 hour looks very similar to the 30. You almost don't, MACD about to get across. I'm telling you, it's all about when the moving averages get really close together. So, this actually, I wouldn't, honestly, this is something, I like this trade here. Even an entry right now, a little late in the green, but an entry right now with a stop below this point of control and the 200 because the 200 will come up. Just like, it's just a high probability safety shot for me. I like this, right? And the move up to possibly 74,970. And that would be all-time highs right here. This one pennant could make an all-time high for us for Bitcoin. We are like one hour measured move away. Like it just, right? Like it's pretty awesome where we're at right now. The halving's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if we crack through the all-time high before the halving. Yeah, he says the 3-day time frame is getting oversold on a lot of coins too. Yeah. Arrow, dude. 2 beans, dude. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Like, yes, look at that thing popping, baby. Look at that thing go, baby. This is what we do here, man, in the trading group. I think even Dave was getting some action on Arrow. I remember him saying he was pleasantly surprised with a double up. The key is to get it out at the right time. I don't know. Sometimes there's just we hit, man. I live for this. And again, we could just be getting a spike up for Bitcoin. It is Thursday night, but I like this is good price action. Look, see how this is still just getting started on the stochastics? It's a pretty good sign we're going to get some follow through there. And again, never chase. You'd have to kind of go to a 1 minute or a 5 minute, see if you can catch a flag, something like that. Like this was a little flag that could have been traded. See? And you can take your measured move. And so you don't chase. And look, the Stokes are actually just getting started there. It looks like this may get kind of busy. I'll tell you, whenever I move, I don't like to jump in late. I always like hold back when I feel like I have to rush in. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't FOMO into anything. You want to be like, for the last couple of days or last day, you're buying a little bits at a time. And then boom, the payday. That's how I like to rock. I like to slowly build my bag in a 6 to 8 day period, right? Knowing that the anticipation, knowing I'm very close, starting to buy that undervalued areas, right? I will tell you guys, Decrypted.tax, your tax season's coming. How I met him, the guy that runs this, Ernest Lee, he's a tax attorney, right? He was a lifer, and I think I mentioned I might need a lawyer. He reached out, and then I needed, when I bought the building, I needed an LLC to represent, all the things done for you so that you can't get taken advantage by the renters, things are done right. And he wrote the LLC for me for that building. I went through the LLC too. Like I read it. I sat and read all 14 pages, went through all the clauses that he wrote. And I could see like the protection in that LLC and the detail. And I was blown away. I'll be honest. I was like, this guy is spot on. So, I retained him as a tax attorney. And, whenever I need him to do other different things or I need other consultations of what I'm doing, I bring him in. And he works with my accountant. Like he'll give my accountant the data, and then I'll just be like, this is just the back. Or we'll just have it ready. My accountant will do it. In case, anything ever happens, we have the data ready, right? So that's kind of like what I like him for. And if you need, and he'll do a free consultation if you're, you don't have, you never did crypto before. You might need some information. He's really willing and able to tell you without charging you a thing of really what your options are. And he may even give you, the free consultation may just put you at ease. All right? So, Arrow broke out the flag, broke through resistance. Look at that. 2. Bang. Arrow, baby. Arrow. All right. Let's get into like what's hot. So Metaplex, never, new name in the game, right? 1 million in volume, 150 market cap. Remember Dione, or Daiwan, however you want to call it, finally did get the move again. LimeWire has been on fire. Whenever that thing pulls back, this coin I found out of nowhere, Choice. Next, it's funny, I find coins on my own, scanning through MEXC, and they come out at me because the names are, like, that was interesting. Choice. I was like, Choice.com, like, what is that, right? And again, there I see it here on, they like pizza, which is ordinals, pizza, right? This is on Unisat, Ascendex, Bitmats, Bitmart. So it looks like we may not be able to get it on MEXC, but they have a bullish signal for this here. Pisa. You may want to research it tonight. Of course, a coin called meme coin, right? That was the first meme coin. Funny, Mantra DAO, I was buying this coin in the last rally. It's funny to see it coming back around again. Pivx is a really old micropayments coin. Pirate Chain back in the game. R. Funny, they're giving a signal for R. Pirate Chain. Got that on MEXC. We'll take a look. We traded Pirate Chain from up to $6 in the last run. Arc Block, ABT. I put a setup for that recently. Let's take a look what happened to it. Maybe a Hunter's Call. Someone told me about that on the live stream. Alpine F1 is like F1 racing. I'm pretty sure like a racing, which is it. The World Mobile Token is the Helium, basically competitor on Cardano. So Dog NFTs is getting pushed a lot by Kyle and some other big channels too as well. And they keep talking about it. The Doge NFT called Dog. And honestly, it is gaining some steam. It's interesting. It really is. And you may want to do a deep dive on that and really do some research because it's gaining some steam. Thena, I don't even know about. We know Athena. Now there's Thena, right? 14 million. This is very small. All right. And I give you guys a couple pages of these because they're the most likely to pump. And look, they got Arrow right there. You know what I mean? They know what's up. They got Gearbox, right? Which just had a major pump. Only thing about this, sometimes the coin will be kind of pumping pretty big. We like Mubi too. Mubi's a nice play, multi-bit in the BRC20 space. We got into Mubi hot, and then it came back down and reset. Bitcoin holding 70,800. I like what it's doing here. It's getting bullish. The 1 hour says we're going to get a pump, right? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm long, as I told you before, and I showed you why I'm long, right? Greener coin, just up what people want to hear. So that might be it for any turbo, which got really big. That was a meme that really exploded. Neo had kind of a run recently. Most trending, 10 set, Ponky, and 1x. So they're really pushing that 1x. And I don't know, do people pay token metrics to get to be trended? I don't, or this just, I don't think so. I would, you never know though, right? It's because it looks like it's being promoted, if I had to guess, it's like, or is it just, it's hot, the computer picks up what's hot and then they pump, right? It goes hand in hand. It's almost impossible to tell which one is influencing the other sometimes, right? Is the coin so hot that it's making this find out about it? Or is this finding out about it making the coin so hot? And I always kind of struggle with that sometimes. That concept. Okay. So here, weekly screen share. And then now we have a token metric section here inside of the trading group where we're posting this information for you. Okay. Something calm about tonight. It's almost like the calm before the storm. I said that before, right? But it looks like it feels like it's going to be a big storm. The other, we went through some blood the last couple weeks, right? Our portfolios took some hits. If you had a long-term portfolio like I did, we took some hits. They went down, right? But they went up so fast. So you always remember that too. We were just at 54,000. We just cracked 42 and everyone was excited, 35 was oh, we're at 35. How much longer? And I don't even remember the 40s or the 50s. We were at 60 before I knew it. And now we're just pissed because 75 is messing with 69. It's weird how what I love is how they get so much fear in the market when it's you can see how it's made up fear. It's completely made up fear. It's ridiculous. But they love to incite it, That's why you just keep telling yourself fear does not, what is fear? What is it? If you close your eyes, it's an endorphin in your mind that creates a stress hormone that makes you feel funny in your stomach, that leads to your thoughts to race, that physically impacts you, and you start to literally make bad decisions. It's it's a physiological state of mind in a way that you can control, because you have to ask yourself I used to, weird, you call me a creeper. I used to, go camping and I'd go into the woods without a flashlight, And again, we don't have bears and, coyotes. I'm, if I'm not doing that in the Alaskan wilderness. Okay. I was in, an island off the coast of Massachusetts, which like I know that we did, like wolves couldn't even get there because they would have to swim like 8 miles across the water. You know what I mean? So like we didn't even have like predators. But anyway, but I would just walk deep into the night, and pitch black, and like eventually use the light of the moon, and my eyes would adjust. And there was some nights where I'd just be like really afraid, and like I was like 15, 17, 20, even in my 20s sometimes, and I'd be like, what do you like? And I'd be like, this is just like the daylight. Like, yeah, you can't see. You could get sprayed by a skunk. Like, there's certain things, but but it is the unknown, right? Like, we fear what we don't understand. We fear the unknown. Traders, traders make bad decisions on fear because they don't know the market that well. They don't know what's coming back to the 21. They don't know what a flag is on the 1 minute. They don't know how to read divergence and find the daily bottom by using the 1 minute chart and seeing how far we are from a 200 SMA. They don't know how to get in or know that when we get back above the 200 on the 1 minute that we can almost rest easy, that we could possibly start getting a move up for the rest of the day. These are the things that I know innately from just putting in time into the market, right? It's just so special. And look, we'll do the trading signal bullish, and we'll just see all their bullish trading signals too on the filter. I've seen things here that they didn't hit bullish, and then I just look at my thing and I see that they are bullish, right? Benji Bananas is coming up. I've never heard of it. Very small volume with a 1 million market cap, but they may be finding something on the low that, it's on CoinEx. Benji Bananas. Let's take a look. Bitcoin looking nice. Still got that movement. Just remember low volume. Benji Bananas. Yeah, see, I'm always like almost afraid of spreads that like this is something I would just have to put like $500 and walk away on, right? And they've been pretty spot on though. Like this is I if I didn't see Token Metrics talk about it, I may never look at this, right? I'd be like, what? Just it's a little too sketchy for me. But it just came out February 28th, got sold back. Bought up second. It's got 3 higher lows in a row now, right? And it's in the cup and handle. It's funny when they give a signal. It's usually I'll find a cup and handle. It's because the cup and handle tells me when we're about to go, and their data says when something's hot. Like, isn't that funny how like you can go at it different ways? Because the universe reveals itself through math in many different ways. As long as you stick to math, you'll have a crossroads of data. Right? I find that really interesting. And look at this. This is like, I know it's crazy, but look, it does the Adam and Eve. Look at it. It's just fascinating, like, right? The triangle with the semi. It's just weird. Like, that's what we always go on, right? So this Benji coin, I don't think I'd get into it. I think it'd be, I have a CoinEx account. I could always send some tether over there. And again, this says it's going to move. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, but to me, it's a little too off the beaten path for me, But it's interesting. I like to see what happens, almost just like more. Chile. That's on Gate.io at Bitmart. So these are like just really small. Coinbase ETH. I mean, that's just Coinbase ETH. We're doing a lot of those. We'll look at Tencent and Ponky and 1X too, the most trending coins here. I like Tencent, and Tencent's been in. Oh no, that's Tectum. Sorry, but I think Tencent's Tet, if I remember correctly. No, Tet is Tectum. Dang, look, Tectum emissions fell out of the pattern. It was getting super tight, but that's why we use the alert system here. Taking it sweet time. This isn't Tencent. I'm just saying this is Tectum. I've been watching it now for a while. It's been getting boring, but I feel like it's only a matter of time it makes that double up. I don't own any, so it doesn't really matter to me what happens to that thing. I just like to speculate on it, really, and watch it. Oh, so it's going to be 10. So they got it on Gate.io, which, So look, it had the rising wedge, and then it did break out, and it went all the way from 62 to 131. And they're saying still bullish, right? Made this flag and already broke out. And again, sometimes they put it out today, and we're looking at like kind of the after party of what happened. That's the only thing about it. Like sometimes I feel like it could get updated a little quicker, but it almost looks like if you believe in this project that it started to bottom here and it could really start it's a bigger move up. And it was just at 13 cents. So look at that in October. So, but it did its 10x, and it looks like you could possibly 100x if you bought the bottom. But look, the 4 hours in a beautiful kind of pennant just broke out. So like if I was into this, I'd be looking for the 4 hour to continue on a downward flag and make a retest, or continue up and make an ascending triangle, right? Both of these are highly likely. And then one of them can continue to the upside, right? Or I just put, well, I'm willing to lose right here and look at it in 3 months, right? But like, these are the things you'd have to ask yourself. And then we had, what was that thing called? And that should be old. Those should change now. Watch. So now we got Nitsa Global, Node AI, and Vera Network too, though, which is interesting. So they've changed it up a little bit already. Funny, right when I said that it's changed. Node AI, Vera Network, right? Look at Arrow, baby. Oh, man. And like maybe $2 arrows is a thing of the past. You know what I mean? Look at that. Man, like this is the gift that keeps on giving, man. Like every time I look at it, the bag is bigger. And I keep, that, of course, that voice, oh, I should have put more. And I just have to tell myself I'm happy what I do have. May the Lord bless me with another arrow. And that will be the more that I could put in, right? But this thing is, look at this. Look at the nice movement here. And we gave you this flag. We went over this numerous times. So not only do I give you projects that I'm buying, but I give you great swing opportunities on projects that I'm already in. That's even if that was just a 14% gain is a blessing. People abuse gains in this game because we're so used to 50, 60, 100, 200xing, 3xing, 5xing, right? And it looks like now if Arrow can just 10x to $20, which I think is highly likely, there's 100x for me right there, almost. So Arrow might be my like 80, 90x here. And I am speculating. Who knows? A lot of things have to go correct. But we want to be big picture people. And we don't want to get stuck on chasing what coulda, woulda, shoulda been. And, I didn't get into this meme. Or, you'll find yourself getting into that sometimes. It happened to me when you're new. Some folks happy with 5% yearly. Exactly. I'm up 150% on Arrow. Unreal. I love that. Threw 1,500 in at 180. Wish I threw more. Yeah, my AI Tech bag has been beat to the floor. Took some profits on gear, though. Nice. Yeah, I did see Mexi listed a coin called BB. Yeah, it was like my wife's name. I thought it was funny. I actually saw that. I was like, BB. And I actually saw it when it was about to come out. I was like, oh, that's about to come out. Yeah, I'm up like a 5.4x now. I mean, think about it in like 36, 30, 39, a couple places in there. Wish I got in. I mean, I saw it at 13 cents. See, no, thank God I had the guts to buy. Because like when I got in here, it had already, think about it. It had been it already did basically a 3 to almost it already did a 4x, almost a 5x. And I was a little like, dang, I shouldn't buy this. It's, but this is the buy high, sell higher season. It's crazy. Like, and again, that's a pivot. Like you have to know how to pivot. Like in the bear market, that would have been like, but also the TA had me, it looked nice. Like if you looked at the 4 hour, the moving averages were close. So, you know, even if I was just kind of swinging it, it looked like it was a decent swing. And then the next one looked good to me and gave me a bigger target. And then like it's you know, and then we went up a little more with the frothiness. And then I pulled the fib. And we didn't even, like, we almost got back to the 618, 1, 2, 3, and I saw the triple bottom. And that's when I started telling you guys, hey, this is probably a likely point to start getting into arrow again. I said, this is like huge accumulation. I said, this coin is a no-brainer, and, you know, you're hanging out at support numerous times. See what I do? This is pretty simple, right? Like, this is the same stuff I do over and over and over again. Like, I just wait for it to come back to the fib level, and I start throwing money in. And then I'm up a few months later. It's like, and I do it you can't do this in a non-bull market. You'll get hurt. You can't just I start throwing $5,000 at random places. And again, not every coin I'm going to hit on, you know, but it's, you know, the odds are highly in your favor. And again, you're doing the research. And so it's not like these people where they're just throwing aimless money. Like, I'm doing my research, and it's focus and discipline. So when I put the money in, I tell myself, hey, I have a pretty good understanding of why I'm putting this money in here. You know, and I can't tell you how many times I've done the thought out, focus, and research, and look, it's played out. It continues to do so. I'll continue to show you guys that being disciplined about your craft can only make you successful at it. I don't care what you're doing. You know, we're here. Look, it's a Thursday night. We're going to 11. Like, we're going. You can feel the energy. Like, this is what I love to do. We're deep diving, we're finding out, we're making sense. And I don't know when the next Arrow drone is going to be. Like, look, I think based AI might be a really interesting, and let me actually move on from that too. So tonight, I think I covered like the basic narratives that I believe are the best to be in, and which basically like, as many as we can, but the basics, right? And then let's just kind of go into these like little lists that we made too. So top real estate tokens by market cap realization. So real estate tokens are going to be hot. They're going to do well. You know, I believe it can't hurt to have some, you know, I got some Realio. Like, it got to have something in this list here. You know, Labs, I knew Labs when it was out 3 years ago. When Labs first came out, tiny market cap, might be a little too speculative. But like, I would look at this and like, you know, I got some token fi I'm building a bag on now. This UBXS was interesting. It had a bit of a big run, and then it probably pulled back, you know. So these are things you'll probably see me maybe, you know, sending some charts out in the next few days, looking for things. Look, crypto real estate, CRE, pretty simple. Like, it's called exactly what it is. It's low volume. It's a little sketch to me. 156,000, that's a little, you know. Profi's been known. It's been hot for a while. 23 million in volume, $338 million market cap. Like, that can get to 3 billion. You know, that's a 10Xer right there. I mean, it's at the top of its game. This one is right next door, right, with 11 million in volume in today and $141 million market cap. Circulating supply is very small. 10% is out. So that's one thing we have to be a little wary of. Hi-Fi Finance, I've been kind of trading on and off, you know, giving you guys setups when I see prop chain, which, you know, property chain, same idea, block square token, like, and I would kind of start ending it around the 14, you know. But look, I'm in Realio. This is a very, if anything can go to 100, this can go to back. This can get to 140 million. We're 10xing. If this gets to 1.4 billion, that's 100x. So there's a chance. I really think there's a chance Realio could 100x. But you know, it's a long shot. There's a lot of the supply isn't out yet. We'll give it that. You know, it's something you have to kind of pay attention to. But I you know, so just, you know, you want to get immersed in that idea. Real RWA. And RWA is as it's attached to real estate, right? Tokens by Launchpad, all right? If it has a Launchpad, means you can grab the coin, stake the coin, and then you get allocation in new projects as they're coming out by using your loyalty, right? Seed Fund, MakerDAO has been a really good one that's been doing numbers, and it's been doing numbers in the chart, you know? Again, here's another play where you don't even have to give any hoot about a Launchpad at all. You can just play, you know, DAO Maker, right? DAO, I believe, USDT. Let me see here. DAO Maker. This thing was out of control hot. because the launch pad, rips. And it was at 57 cents. I see it rip to 142. I'm like, oh man, you research it, you find out it was a launch pad. It was amazing. It was dominating. So I draw the cup, the handle, I draw the fib. It comes back to the golden pocket, the 618, right? Start accumulating. And then you're in for 93 cents. And then you're riding it up to possibly 270 for a 3X, right? Or even if you're selling somewhere in here. And look, now it got hyped out of control, right? Because people probably ran into some project that thought was going to be amazing. Like, we got to get Maker Dow Maker, right? And now so now we do the same thing again, and we pull the fib. And now it's bouncing very close to the 786. Look at this. And, it's definitely in basically undervalued areas. Like, I might, I think there's better, I like this project, but I may not trade it. I'm looking for the next hot thing. But, I do like this. But again, probably anywhere in here is the accumulation. And then boom, it's going to rip back up and go to 3. And look, it has the half a cup and handle, the emerging cup and handle. And there's probably a hidden, watch, I bet there's hidden bullish divergence on the 22-hour time frame. Swinging down. All this is swinging up because I've just seen that's the model and the 786 fib retracement. And again, that's the money printer really in a way, just a bigger scale of it, right? You're waiting to come back to the 786 to get the move to the upside. Fascinating times, right? And you know what it is and why it's hot. So it's there's likely going to be more demand for this coin, right? So now you're like, okay, yeah, Dow Maker, it makes sense, Bitcoin holding 70,070, really good times where we're at right here. The halving is so close, it's ridiculous, everyone. I get a feeling. We all should be. It's kind of a historic time to be around, 7 days before a halving. This is what I live for, right? This is the pinnacle of my life, the Bitcoin halving. We talk about it all the time, and to live through the halving is it's crazy. I wonder what will happen. Everyone's like, oh, what will happen now? It's not like Y2K, you know what I mean? It's a lot of people say it's baked in. A lot of times after the halving, it's not immediate. People are kind of already preparing for the halving. Miners are selling, doing the thing, but I mean, a supply shock is coming for this coin, in my humble opinion. My response to Peter Schiff is people buy solutions when they're in dire needs. And Bitcoin is a solution to a lot of issues. You're running from, an occupied country that you're in, and you need to get, and you might be searched, or you might have to go through customs to get to the next country you're in, and you're stashing gold bars and all sorts of foreign currencies, and you're not going to get shaken down for your gold, and good luck. But you could memorize 12 seed phrase if it was on your life, right? Or, you know what I mean? Or you could mail a letter to somebody and hide the words in them, or give them half to one person and mail a letter with the other half and just say, please remember these words from me. And then also do your memorization, give yourself a back just in case your memory slips, you get hit in the head or something. But the idea is, and then you can slip right through and then get to your next country, get the Bitcoin sent to you, sign up to, if you have, get it, and get back into life again, right? And so it's just, or maybe you can still, maybe you have a Coinbase account, you can still sign into it when you get to the next country. And now you can just get the Bitcoin there, sell it, use their Coinbase card, take your family to dinner. Actually, you could be eating within the first day, in your new life that you ran from whatever account. Bang. Banks are going, are sketchy. People aren't sure. They were raiding outside of those banks. Just it was less than a year ago, we saw First Republic, and we forget about SVB. It seems like it was, but there's been some. Now they do things that would have been had those banks went down 10 or 20 years ago, it would have been the dire insanity, right? Now we're just oh, nothing to see here, just some banks collapse. Let's get back to business. It's almost wacky what we just tolerate now. It's wacky, right? Honestly, I wouldn't be able to tolerate it without Bitcoin, but because I was on the right side, I can just be thank God I'm not a part of that. But if I didn't have an option, I'd just be what about my bank? What about my life? It definitely would have induced, and that's how they have everyone in that fear-induced life, right? Fear-induced life, man. Superverse is interesting to me, right? And I believe it wasn't Supervarm. They changed the name to Superverse, right? I'm pretty sure, right? But this isn't. I like this. This could kind of go places. Katina, not my favorite coin. It's kind of like doesn't do a lot, but it is some people's dark horse. They really like it. Chain GPT. I got into this. Remember, if you remember, like I first bought this when it was, I'm gonna say 13 cents, 10 cents, something like that. It is a launch pad though. Like, oh wow, look, it's been crashing. So Chain GPT was 13 cents, went all the way up to 46.50 almost, right? On March 11th, so about a month ago. And then since then has been pulling back. Let's take a look at this, buddy. GGPT, right? ChatGPT had just come out. It was all the hype. This coin came out on Maxi, and I just thought I thought I was playing a meme. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, Chain GPT. Like it came down. I bought in when it first hit the exchange. So it first hit the exchange and I got in right here, like 10, and it went up a little bit. So I got a 10, 11, 13 cent area. And then it went up and I was up, hit 30 cents and I was the man. And then like a month later, it was like, and then I was basically, my money turned to zero for like, it was 5 cents, 4 cents. And basically I thought I'd lost all my money. I was like, oh yeah, I took a shot on a meme. That's what I get. I put what I was willing to lose. And then, like, I never would have believed, like, it was going to turn into a launch pad and have, like, a real project. And I actually have a position in something that's, like, and so now I'm up still, like, almost a little under a 3X, right? 13 times 3, 29? Yeah. No, I'm up a 3X. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's 49. Please, no, sorry. 10, 39. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. So I'm not up a 3X, but, I'm up a little more than 2X, right? And it's starting to come back down to the accumulation range, which would be the golden pocket and the 0.706. Now, supportive resistance is strong. There's many times where supportive resistance will stop you from getting to a fib, but, it can never hurt to. So if this comes back down into these areas, that's the accumulation for this, right? Most people would be in fear. They're going to say that's not when you buy, like this project's over, yada, yada, yada. And then 24 turns to 85, and there's like about a 4X trade right there. So to the spoils goes the person who doesn't live in fear, but who lives in the fibs, right? It's funny, Palm AI has been getting like some love and some comparison from some big traders. It's now at the 786, right? So it's been completely sold off, right? It was a quick, fun pump. It's completely sold off. Now, we got in very early on this coin, 13, 15 cents, anywhere between 13 and 30 cents. Even I was buying it before it even came on Maxi, when it was on Uniswap, right? So Palm AI is interesting to me. And honestly, it still has like some type of Google connection and still could do numbers if we get another big Palm AI rally. It just depends on you. And, if I needed the money and I made a big move, it would have been a good buy there. I mean, it was 198. I mean, that's pretty crazy how high it went, right? So, and again, when to sell these coins off if you're really into something, when you start to see, let's just say, any time frame just start to pull away from the 21-day moving average very sharply, it's going to come back to the 21. And usually it'll lose the 21 and then follow its way back down to the 786. It's just like, that's just basic price action. Yeah, you come up, you come back down. I still have some faith this thing could do numbers, right? But you never know. It could have just been a fly-by-night rally, and it may do nothing. You never know. Like, you gotta, it's hard to tell. That's speculative investing. You know what I mean? What if the rally kept going and the pullback wasn't as sharp? You don't know for sure. But if you just trust the 786 over and over again, that's the best, in my opinion. That's the best probability you can have, right? So top AI and big data tokens. Lier protocol. I sold my Lier for Lier AI. We'll see if that, it's taken about a month or two to really play out to fruition. We'll see what happens. BitTensor got a bit of a move here. But I thought it went to, hold on. I thought it was at, let me take a look. Looks like did it pull back? Got a pump on the Binance news. Wow, spike up to 776 with a massive sell back down. Interesting. So it's almost like, it was like a buy the rumor, then sell the news later on. Really weird. But like over time, I do see almost all ships rising. Like Bitcoin gets to 100K, and once we breach 100,000, to me, that's going to be cause you're going to see a massive rally in altcoins. You know, I'd look for this to consolidate here, very similar to what it did the last few times, and then it could head back to 12.9. You know, 1200. Render's hot. I just think it's just got a bigger market cap. And, you know, you could chase it if you want. It could probably still maybe 5 to 10x, but I like data. Data could get back to its $20 region, $21. Could still 7x from here, a little over that. I like data. Fetch AI, you know, I'm a huge component of. You know, I got my singularity.net. And again, if they get to combine what's going to happen, and everyone's just kind of sitting tight right now, waiting to see what Bitcoin does. I like AYZ Network. You know, I bought some of that. I have a stash of that. And there's your ocean with your, you know, but Track Origin Trail, I believe that's that's a play on the BRC20s. Arkham is cool. You can see all sorts of wallets. And Pal AI is another one, kind of like Palm AI. It's hot. I even like this coin. I never got to buy into it, but I believe it will do numbers. OXO.ai. ArcBlock ABT, we're going to look at that. I like Delicium. I really do. AGI, Delicium. And that's a nice play with a small market cap. It's got a bunch of other, you know, Crypto Seth, a bunch of other people like the coin too as well. And again, like you can see, I put it out to the group. I see hidden bullish. It's coming back into the accumulation at the 786 in the golden pocket. And it would make a 200% move. Everyone wants the 200%, but they don't want to buy into the red. They want it to be perfect, but just, you know, they're not willing, you know. Yep, you got your Palau ID, man. Yeah. The wait time for me was about 4 weeks. And yeah, BRC20, we have STX, which has been huge. Let's take a look at STX. As it pulled, you know, it was out of control at one point. My bag of STX was just like flying. Wow, still like really pretty high. So let's take a look. So the highest it was 388. Well, like you can see it ballooned from 153 and just really started to take off. We were buying this thing in the bear market. We knew that BRC20 was going to be hot. The day stacks came out, I knew about it, and we were talking about it, right? And so you saw me just accumulating stacks around here, and then I just never thought about it again. I left it there. And that 60-cent stacks 5x for me from where I'm at now, and almost even did more. Bearish divergent now, like that's bearish div, and you know, you're getting the 200 really far away with some strong bearish divergence. Usually tells me you're going to do some type of pullback. Almost like you're in the rising wedge that's starting to break down. We look at the 3-day, if you're away from the 21-day moving average, you're touching on it. The only thing about this coin is like the hype is just really out of control for BRC20. And BRC20 hype kind of slowed down, but then stacks got crazy. And so I wouldn't be surprised if like it just goes sideways here and doesn't do a normal pullback and really continues to 6. Again, I do own it, so am I pumping my bags? No, I'm really saying it just like stacks is, it's kind of it's got its own little thing going on with the BRC20. You know, it's a hot product, and you can a lot of things you can buy with stacks or Bitcoin. So people are like, oh, I use stacks or I use Bitcoin. You know, again, we got rewarded for being in the early stages of the bear market. We knew about BRC20 super early, right? We understood what was so like we got fed this data. You know, it came out before the market really got into the bullish market. So that's why I love hanging out in the bear. You get so much, like, you do get blessed. Like, you're the cool kids in the group. Like, you get to know about things before everybody else. Like, yeah, oh yeah. Like, people start talking about BRC20. You're like, yeah, we knew that like a year ago, man. I inscribed my first BRC20 inscription in October of 2023. 2022. I remember on the Unisat. It's like, it was one of my thumbnails. Like, and so I the first week I heard about inscriptions, I went and made an inscription. Just was like, I got it. I spent $250 in Bitcoin, which is crazy. I couldn't, like, I don't see the thing about the BRC20 networks that I'm not a fan of And I guess you make more Bitcoin. Like you're supposed to put Bitcoin, but like I'm not into like using Bitcoin to like do stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to buy an NFT and watch it tank when I could have just stashed $7,000 of Bitcoin for my daughter and left it on a hardware wallet for 10 years. So like that's why I don't jump in so heavy into BRC20. But you know, my friend that did it, he's turning 1 Bitcoin into 7 Bitcoins, and he's like, I'm making generational wealth in BRC20. He's like, so like, you know, again, I don't get to do it all, you know, because I'm a teacher, because I wish I could have my hands in every single pot and in every part of crypto, but that's unrealistic for everyone. And you'll burn yourself out for sure doing that. You'll beat yourself out. I didn't wish it coulda, woulda. That's not what you want to be doing, you know, not at all. So we got to just be super happy about our wins. If we felt like we could have been more diligent, we should be critical on ourselves and push ourselves. And it's okay to reassess and say, you know, the other night I decided to go out with my friends and party for 3 nights straight, and I really didn't watch any videos. I didn't put in any work, and I missed the trend. You know, I missed out on base day. I missed out on the next thing. You know, it's cool. You know, you can go back and forth on what you want to do. I find I'm a little maybe too much of a hermit at this point because I just know there's just so much opportunity in the market. You know, summers get slow, even in bull markets. Like summers can kind of like, you know, I mean, we should have a crazy bull market, but there still will be some summer days of low volume. There'll be Fridays that drip and drop. You know what I mean? And so like August and September, the markets just, you know, late August and July, the markets just, they crawl a lot. There's many crawling days, you know? So I like always take advantage of like the springtime. Usually we get some, I wouldn't be surprised if May into June, we usually get a pretty nice alt run in May and June. Even in 2019, we got a nice alt run in May and June. So all these coins came back down, look, to their 786 fib retracements, you know? This one even is like right in the sweet spot now, right? It's like right in the accumulation. It's almost like losing the 786 a little bit. And you know, your previous resistance, it came, so look, this one came all the way from 42 all the way back down to 20, right? But again, this was another nice runner that I was able to take really good advantage of. And I kept telling everyone, take some profits, like take profits. Like these are crazy pumps. Like, you know, I didn't take profits on everything, I'm telling you, but I took profits. Like when I got an ATR and I turned $7,000 into 24, I sold the thing. Like when I made unrealistic money that didn't make sense, I told myself like, I should take this, you know, I should take this. Like, some really good hits the last few weeks that have been playing out, you know? So, and look, I think last night I got into a coin I'm pretty sure is a rug. Or it's not a rug, but I don't know what the heck it was doing. Let's see, it probably rugged today. Let's see what happened to it. But I think it was, I think it's gone now. Yeah. It was like, it's gone now. Like, they probably ripped it off the exchange because it was like shady. It's funny because it was 100,000 market cap. And I just saw like every 5 seconds it was going like more and more and more and more and more. And I was like, what is this? You know, baby on base. Now it's gone, man. But, you know, so one last thing I want to talk about is base AI. So I spent that whole time on based AI. And again, who knows in 2 weeks from now what I'll be saying now? It'll be something different. You know what I mean? I didn't know this, but if you told me 3 weeks ago, or if you told me 60 days ago, I'd be all about the base chain, and I would have got into Arrow, and I would have been like, what are you talking about? I'm doing these things right now, you know? But it's really weird. Like, you have to learn how to pivot really pretty fast in this game, you know? Wow, this thing took a beat down. Got a nice little sell-off. Kind of sad. Maybe it doesn't do what it's going to do. You know, I speculated on this. We'll see what happens. But now it's like right where I bought it at, back at $1 million market cap. At one point, it was up huge, too. It did like 4X or 3X. Interesting. Maybe am I looking at the right one? Yeah, based AI on base. Yeah, that's it. So this is base AI, not based AI. So this is completely different. You know what I mean? This is just really like a speculative idea on base. And you have to use AI. So this, who knows what will happen to this. It was up nice. It did 3X from when I put it out. So if you took your profits, it would have been a pretty nice win. But 1.2. Interesting. Almost like a head and shoulder, but like with nowhere to go. But up, possibly. I got faith in this coin. I'll still hold it. We'll see what happens. I just really got into it like probably less than a week ago. Top Phantom ecosystem coins, but sometimes they do this, but they don't do a good job of it. Tokenized stocks. Finding Pfizer tokenized stock, FTX. Weird, right? I really like Token 5. Ton coin ecosystem. Ton's getting hot. We called that double bottom there. That thing went huge. Jet Ton game, right? Never heard of it, right? Might be hot. Resistance Dog is their like new, look, it's up 5x in 7 days. Rito. Some people say it could continue to go up. Ton bridged, they have JUSDT. Interesting. They have ton bridged USDT. Stone.fi, $31 million market cap, $1 million in volume. Tony the Ducky, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if you deep dive some of this stuff and you get into it. There could be some rewards whenever you get into a new ecosystem. You know what I mean? Some things you kind of like. I won't tell you. You got you might find your way in these. I can't push you into too many speculative things. I like to kind of bring you back to the charts, back to my dollar cost averaging into certain coins and stuff like that. But who knows what's going to happen to all of us? Everyone's going to have a different path, right? No one's going to buy the exact same coins at the exact same time. So I'm watching Mubi. It's on my radar. And honestly, I do see altcoins kind of getting a little hit off. Like, are we going to get the next big rally? Like, we had the rally was pretty crazy. It's hard to sell in these big rallies, but you really have to at least take some profit. That way you feel a little bit better if you held some things, but you got to take some profit. Look, again, this pumped, and it was given to us after I was investing, talked about it 2 cents or something, and it ripped all the way to 34, did a 16x. And look how long it took from December all the way till April. Basically, it took 4 months to buy it again. The patience was long. And then it bounced where? Like basically the 7, a little lower, and then the 786 there. And then it bounced, and it did doubled up then and made 100%. And this thing now has breached the 4-month resistance. So it's really only way up is up for this thing now, It may pull back into a flag again. I'm not showing exactly what's going to happen, but I believe if you hold this for a few more months or two, it's going to move with the BRC ecosystem. But again, I'm not buying any of this. Just make it clear. And tonight, I don't feel like it's like, tonight's like a dollar cost average night, a night to kind of watch the market. If anything, I think Bitcoin would steal the show or go more sideways, right? So I don't know. I'm not feeling like an aping into alt night, So you just kind of how it is. And then we have lower volume Friday after CPI and PPI. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of the night. I think we did a really good job tonight. And, stick to the narratives that you believe in. I did. Build your bags and, you go from there. And you got to be patient and you see where the market takes us. And risk what you can't risk more than you're willing to lose, or you will be devastated if it doesn't go your way. So that's it. I got $100 grand in Chainlink. I got $100 grand in Atom. I got $100 grand in Solana. Those are like my soft plays. Just trying to, not trying, but will attempt to 3 to 5x all of those. Somewhere in the middle of those. Turn the 300 grand into $1 million. Call it a day. You know what I mean? Pay the 300 grand in taxes and basically double up my money. That's all. Just double up 300,000. If I can get more than that, so be it. But the key is not to be greedy. So everyone have a wonderful night. I appreciate you all. It doesn't mean I'm not like super speculating on other things. I balance out my risk. All right. Have a great night, everybody. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you learned something. And I didn't get to the 200 SMA boot camp that I wanted to. I think it would have been a little too much, but I kind of do that every day. But next week, really, I'll break it down as fast as I can. Like we'll do like a 2-second drill. The idea behind it is the 1 minute, the 7, the 15, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. Look at them like a flip book. All right. And it's not always exactly like this, depending on it. But when you're in a bear market and things are down, you'll be dumping. And the first thing you'll see is like the 1 minute will get back above the 200. Like, look, we just got my signal right there. That told you to open up a long with a stop loss on the other side of the 200. And look, we're in the gains. I didn't see it because I was busy teaching you guys. I can't give you the signal every 5 seconds, but I give you the signal whenever I see it. I'm like, everybody, we're above the 200 again. Look, that was a beautiful signal. And now we're in a flag on the 1 minute. Look at that. That looks like we may be getting busy tonight. That little flag looks like we could start to rock to 71.3, 380, 71.400. And that's that next resistance. We break through that, we could move. I'd watch this little flag on the 1. It's looking pretty bully. 7 minute could be flipping. We got into 21 crossing the 200. We breached the 7 minute croc. Once the 7 minute opened up a trade above that, you can open up a long. Anytime time frames start to break the 200s on any time frame. So like first you break the 200 on the 1. You get into the trade. Trade starts to go well. Then you watch the 5. The 5 and the 1 might be close. They breach together. But usually you'll be in the trade and then you'll be here. But you'll be up and then you'll breach this and then you'll know to stay in the trade. Then I go to the 10, and if the 10's already gone, I'm looking for the 50 to cross. So if we were above it, then I'm looking for, look, and now the 50's about to cross, that's a golden cross. Right? Same thing here. And now now you're looking for support or resistance. So now if you get above this, you're headed up to your next chunky area here, which is 72,000, and then boom, 72,800. So you can see and it's, again, it will start here, we'll be super bearish. The 1 minute will get above first. Then you'll get above on the 30 minute. Then you'll get above on the 1 hour, right? So this move started with the 1 hour getting above the 200. Then the 15, then the 7 got above. Then the 15, then the 1 hour. And so it's a flip book of succession that I found, this is an amazing way to trade that I figured out. And it can, every time you get above the next time frame's 200, it confirms the move that you're in. All right. I'll elaborate that more, but that's really a big part of my trading. And that took me years to figure out. I just had to keep looking at charts. And one day my mind was like, oh my God, this yellow line, look, the yellow line here, the 1 hour, second it got above the 200 SMA, you're in. Even today, we dip below it right there. The second a candle closed above it, you get in. Boom, you're in the money. You made gains. And we went over this today, and we talked about how the 15-minute couldn't lose the 200. Right? And I said, as long as we don't lose the 200, and look, we hate it, but we got real close. We didn't lose it, though. And that was the bounce back up at about, look, this is the show today, between 11, on the 11th, between 10 and 12. We found the bottom today on the show, right? And then I left the show being like, if I did anything, I would long Bitcoin. Remember? I said with a stop loss below the 200 SMA and somewhere here, I was like, because if you lose the 200, you're bearish. I said, if we don't lose the 200, we're still bullish. It's simple to me. And look what happened. We went up. And if you took that trade, you're in the money. Can't see the screen. Thank you for saying that. That would have helped, right? But that's when I'm just overtired teaching, man. I just go too far. But again, look, we didn't lose the 200 here on the 15. That was our daily bottom right there. All right, and that was 10 to 12 today. And we talked about it. If we don't lose the 200, you're not dumping. See, people that don't know this, they're freaking out right here. And they're like, I'm going to open up shorts. It doesn't look good to me. And they're looking at not knowing the 200, I'm telling you, I know everyone has different trading styles, but I just feel like you have to know this. I'll just see a guy that's been trading 10 years and he'll short this. And I'll be like, you can't short until you lose the 200, my man. I'm happy I know it. I'm happy I use it because it is it's just an amazing way to trade. And what I was showing you before, if you go back to when we first started to get a move, right here, and you go to the 1 minute, you'll see it all starts, all moves start on the 1 minute. So this move here, we get our dump, and then you get above the 200 SMA on the 1 minute. And if you want the continuation, here, you want the continuation, you look to see if we got above it on the 7 minute. And you just keep, and then once you get above on the 7 minute, and basically each time price gets above its 200 SMA on the next bigger time frame, it confirms that you can stay inside the trade. So sometimes I'm in trades on the 15, and the 15 breaks, and then I get in. And then we're headed for the 1 hour. And you'll see me, and I said, now we got to get above the 1 hour on our way. Now, we might get rejected by it, and then I know, and then the Stokes will turn, and then I see support or resistance, and I know maybe the trade is not going to go in my favor. But if we get above it and we continue, I'll double down or I'll stay in the trade because now I'm like, oh, wow, I'm getting the same signal that I was looking for before, right? I'd watch this 1 minute time frame. It's kind of sketchy for sure, right? And it could easily Bart Simpson and just break back down inside the pattern, but it's looking interesting to me. So getting above the 200, like, look, you can do this on the, again, all the stuff I teach you, this is how I was able to figure out when the bear market was over on Bitcoin on the weekly. When everyone was screaming and yelling, I saw us get above the 200 SMA. And once that happened, I was like, I said, if we don't, as long as we stay above this yellow line, everyone, we're gone. My strategy said to open up a long right there with a stop loss on the other side. Look, you'd still be in that trade to this day. Still be in that trade. Now, I haven't perfected the long-term leverage trade. You know what I mean? Wish it coulda, shoulda, but I definitely spotted the heck out of that move with like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I'm not like, I'm not like, and I didn't show everyone all my massive gains, and I didn't like, but you can only imagine, But again, like 10 grand at like 10x leverage also would have made a boatload of money there, and it would have been a simple way to trade. Just get in here and make sure your liquidation is somewhere lower than this yellow line. Anyway, that's the sauce for tonight, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful night. This is being recorded, so if you had to leave or something happened or you came back inside, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes on the recording.